What's up? It's Coach Vass here. Thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. We'll jump right into it. We're going to do Saturday, February 8th, which will also repeat on Monday, February 24th. We'll talk about key concepts, treads, rower, weight floor, and the 2G, talk about the 3G, and then get you on out of here. So we're going to see power on the treads, endurance on the rower, strength on the weight floor. On the treads, we're going to have 3 blocks, all about power. Each block gets more aggressive to finish with our best 20-second all-out. For the rower, you're on the rower only once for an 800-meter push. And then on the floor, you have 2 blocks. Block 1 is reverse drop sets. Start heavy, drop to weight, and replace with a heavier weight. And then in block 2, you're timed with the treads for non-stop targeting shoulders, quads, and biceps. You're gonna need benches out, just as a heads up on that. All right, so talking about the treadmills here, we're gonna see a 3-block setup. Block 1 and 3 are shorter, 3.5 minutes each. The middle block is the big chunk of it, so 13.5 minutes. Very unique timing with today's, because we rarely see these two durations. So the recommendation is to actually use a run-in stopwatch rather than a constant stop and restart. So we're gonna be doing a primer block to begin with. We're gonna have a total of 3 rounds of a 20-second push and a 40-second base, okay? And the goal here is to increase the push intensity every round and then maintain or adjust your base because we're trying to prime the body, get them ready for that all out at the very end for 30 seconds. Now, the recommendation is push start at 8% or greater for power walkers. I would probably put more on the aggressive end of this push, 1.5 or so or more over their base. Bikes and striders, you could set them up. No specific call out in the daily beat, so at least 3 to 5 gears or so. Main thing though, of course, is every round we want to increase. So for the bikes and striders, maybe they start at 3 gears, then do 4, then do 5 to kind of build up the intensity. Power walkers, they could add on 0.5% every round. They could add on 0.1, 0.2 to their speed. Same with the joggers and runners. And then they finish with a 30-second all out. Now, when we look at block 2, there's going to be another unique timing situation. And once again, they do recommend a run-in stopwatch for this. So we're going to see a 20-second push into a 40-second all out. And the goal is to maintain the all out intensity. Now, a couple takeaways from this is if we reference back to block 1, they finished with a 30-second all out. So at the very least, could they hold that for 10 seconds longer, or at least be within 0.1, 0.2 of what they did previously, okay? The push is essentially a ramp up to get them prepped and moving before the all out. So for the power walkers, it's 20 seconds to make sure that their incline is up to where it needs to be before they hit that all out effort for 40 seconds. And then joggers and runners, they're getting their feet pedaling, moving fast, so that way when it's time to go faster, they are prepared for that. It is only a minute of work, followed by 90 seconds of recovery. And the goal here is to maintain that all out intensity. So if they are truly trying to maintain that 30-second all out for an extra 10 seconds, it is definitely going to hit a threshold approach where they're going to feel like they really need to take a full walk recovery. So they're going to see a total of 6 rounds of this. So a minute of work, 90-second walk recovery, 6 times, right at 13.5 minutes. And once again, the goal is to maintain the all-out intensity. A good challenge, especially if you see people getting right back to base, increase the all-out, or even increase the push leading into that all-out. Mentioned this before in other videos, but by increasing that push, you pre-fatigue them, making the all-out perceived to be more challenging than what it was previously. Okay. Now the third block, it's back to block 1's timing of a 20-second and 40-second back and forth, but this is going to be a 20-second all-out, 40-second walk recovery. Because we are obviously going much shorter than block 2, could we be more aggressive and maintain it? And then the call out here is, hey, whatever you did for 20 seconds, could we do it for 30 at the very end? So this is an opportunity to see as far as like, hey, who was able to maintain? Well, what about who was able to beat their 30-second all out from block 1 at the very end, right? If you have people power walking, of course, with this 20-second all out, we want them to start bringing up their incline about 5 to 10 seconds before they start the all out. That way they actually have that incline for at least 15 of the 20 seconds. Otherwise, by the time it gets to go up, they're coming right back down. I've personally seen some power walkers during the walk recoveries, they drop their incline only to like 5 and then bring it back up, or they just keep their incline at 10, but they really bring that speed down, under 3, so they can at least get some sort of recovery before that next all out. Now, when we look at the rower and weight floor, only one row. It's during block 1. Block 1 is 18.5 minutes. They're gonna start with an 800 meter push row. For most people, this is gonna take around 2.5 to probably 4 minutes or so, because obviously it's an extended warm up with a push. So hopefully, at that 3-minute mark of the warm up, you're stopping them, you're giving them the rundown of what's gonna happen. So when you get that back on that rower, heart rate is definitely gonna be low. So as they start rowing again, heart rate should start climbing up. When they get about 300 to 400 meters in, hopefully they're in, mid-range green. By the time they get to about 600 to 700 meters, maybe they are tapping into that orange, or just about approaching it. So that way, when they finish that 800 meter push row, they're definitely warm, but they're not gassed out, okay? And then we're gonna see a reverse drop set, followed by a core exercise, and then another reverse drop set, followed by a different strap core exercise. The first one is gonna be single arm split squat. They're gonna do 5 reps, and then another 5 reps with a heavier weight on the left, then do that on the right, then they rest. Now, the idea of heavy to heavier, knowing that we want people to go up, this first 5 reps might be more of a moderate to heavy, and then use the heavy weight for the next 5, at least for the first round. And then once they've done that, next time that they come back to this movement, can they use that heavier weight first and then maybe go even heavier for another 5 after that. This is going to be a split squat, so just both feet on the floor, lower down, back up. If anyone has any issues with their knees, if you have with the benches out, you could have them do step ups instead. And then the strap movement is going to be a low plank alternating knee raise. So this is the one where the forearms are going to be in the cloth strap right about middle, in that low plank position, feet are on the ground, arms are in the straps, and they are alternating one knee drive at a time for 10 total reps. If they really go slow, they're gonna feel their core a lot more, especially because as they pick up one foot, they're gonna feel themselves shift either left or right. So they have to try to keep that stability by using the obliques. The next reverse drop set is gonna be close grip chest press. So elbows are tucked in, drop it down about halfway, and then right back up. Hopefully elbows are bending at least 90 or a little bit more. Maybe the elbows break the plane of the upper back as they're laying down. We just don't want them to start internally rotating under their shoulders as they do that. Same thing, do 5 heavy, maybe moderate to heavy first set, and then 5 with a 5 to 10 pound weight jump up. And then they're gonna do the new-ish movement, the clutch curl to alternating torso rotation. So this is the one where the arms are out, they curl knuckle to knuckle, and then when they get to the top, they're gonna pull this arm as they push this arm to rotate, and it's only from straight forward to about 45 degrees. If they go any more, they'll feel themselves slip on the strap. Then they lower down, the next rep they come up, rotate the other way, and then back down. If they can't quite get that rotation, at the very least, just knock out the clutch curl, which is a great way to kind of challenge the biceps in a different direction than what they normally do. 18.5 minutes here. Once they finish the clutch curl, they go back to the split squat. You should have plenty of time for 3, even 4 rounds of this. So really emphasize going heavier the second, third set to really get that fatigue. Now, the second block on the floor is gonna be quite the burner. It's gonna be timed up with the treads. 20 seconds of a seated lateral raise, and then 40 seconds where they're gonna do a bicep curl, get the weight here, they'll stand up, sit down, and then back down. So it's gonna be a lot of nonstop movement for the upper body. The recommendation here is pick a light weight and use it for both. Because by that third set, those 8-10 pound dumbbells for some reason will feel like 50. And the reason being is because hopefully They never stopped. So they will finish with 30 seconds of lateral raises. Now, obviously with that lateral raise, we want elbow soft. They're driving up. And if anything, I like the cue of bringing pinkies up a little bit to really get that feeling of the lateral deltoid. And then the other thing too is like if people need to, they could do it with the arms bent, which will shorten up the lever and make it a little bit easier. So my little one's eating lunch right next to me. Anyways, that's the 2G. Now we look at the 3G. They're gonna remove that primer block from the treadmills. We're gonna have 2 blocks there, 2 blocks on the rower, 2 blocks on the weight floor. Now on the treads, the first block is a total of 5 rounds of the push all out from block 2. So 20 push, 40 all out. There's only 1 minute to walk. So this is gonna be equal work to rest. For this 9-minute block, they'll have a minute of work, a minute of walk recovery, rinse and repeat 5 times. Of course, after the 5th minute of work, they have 90 seconds to recover before you send them into block 2. Block 2 is just like block 3 of the 2G. So 20-second all out, 40-second walk recovery. They'll do that 3 times and then finish with a 30-second all out at the very end. Okay. For the rower first block, they're going to do a 600-meter push row. And then we want them to lower their split time every round because the distance they're going to row is going to decrease. So with this push row during the warm-up, have people pay attention to what their split time is. And then let's say maybe they're at like 2:15 for their base. Their push is going to be about 5 to 10 seconds under that. So if they're at 2:15, 2:05, maybe 2:10 as a push, but then every round, could they knock 1 or more seconds off that split time on average? That's gonna be paired up with 12 reps of a squat jack. They could do like a step out squat as an option. They'll say 600, 400, 200 meters. That's the 3 rounds. After that, they row until time is called. Knowing the 600-meter push row for most people will probably take about 2 to 3 minutes. And then after that, we're dropping 200 meters. We're gonna drop about 45 seconds or so. They'll probably get through that 3rd round and have a few moments to recovery row before the next block. Now block 2 is timed up with the treads. So 20-second all out row, 40-second recovery row. So no need for stored programs or anything like this. The main call out is maintaining the all out intensity. So we've used the split time in block 1. So if anything, reference that. How low can they get their split time and can they keep it there for 20 seconds? Of course, you can always use watts. How high can the watts get and can they keep it there for 20 seconds? Weight floor is the exact same thing. The big difference here is they're gonna drop the clutch curl. So we're gonna have the split squats as a drop set, then the closed grip chest press as a drop set, and then they go onto the strap low plank with alternating knee raise, and then they go back to the beginning. Same thing, first round, use moderate weight for the first 5, then use a heavy weight for the next 5, and then once they get through that, let's use that heavy weight for the first 5, and then a heavier weight for the next 5. And then same second block, so 20 seconds of lateral raises, 40 seconds of curl to stand, 3 rounds of that, and then 30 seconds of lateral raises. By that point, they should have 0 thought of, to shampoo their hair. So other than that, that's it. As always, any feedback, let me know. Thank you guys for tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, information is in the description to support me. Otherwise, coach it down.